Hello everyone and welcome to another devlog video for HomeGrown, the casual farming game I'm making using my own engine. This week I've got various little tasks that I want to work on, like fruit trees, some graphical work and a couple of other things. So for this video I'm just going to film one whole week from start to finish and show you everything I get up to. So it's Monday morning right now, 8 o'clock. Mondays always start off a little bit slow because I have admin work and planning and chores to do. So I'm going to get that stuff out of the way now and then we'll jump into some programming in a bit. So I've planned out the week, I've just watered all of my plants as well, and I did a bit of planning for the fruit tree update, although there's not actually that much to this update, so I'm expecting it to go quite quickly, and I'm going to start off now by making the placeholder models for the trees. So just stopping for lunch, this morning I've been working on the apple tree, just getting the absolute basics set up, so you can place these apple trees in the world. They then grow just using placeholder models for now, and when they're fully grown they produce fruits which you can of course harvest, and that gives you apples. So all very basic so far. Haven't had to do any programming yet. This has all just been doing settings in the apple trees entity file, but I'll be getting into more exciting stuff after lunch. One thing that's different about the fruit trees is that they grow on the grass, which I thought would be a nice change from all the other plants in the game, which will grow on the soil. However, most of the farming mechanics that I've got in the game, like watering, composting, weeding, are all to do with soil tiles. So I had to come up with a different farming mechanic for looking after the fruit trees, and I've decided to go with pruning. So I've created this extra mesh for the fruit tree model, and then in the game when you've got a fruit tree, every now and again it's going to grow these extra branches. It won't be this sudden, they'll grow gradually, and if you let these branches grow they're going to have a negative effect on the tree's health. So if you want to get the best out of your fruit tree and get the most fruit from it, you're going to want to cut these branches off and prune the tree. I haven't actually implemented that yet. It's 3 o'clock now. I'm just going to go for a quick run, and then when I get back I'll implement the pruning tool. So I've spent the rest of the afternoon working on this new tool, the pruning shears, which I can use now to cut these excess branches off the tree, which will make them very happy. And so yeah, that's the whole feature, a draft of the whole feature up and running. Obviously I've got loads more to do in the next few days, lots to polish up, and I need to replace all of these placeholder models and icons. But it's 5:30 now, so I'd like to have an early dinner because I want to go to the garden centre later before it closes, and get some new plants for the balcony. Good morning, it is 7:20. It's another lovely sunny day. I've just made myself a big breakfast, and I'm actually going to be switching topics slightly today. I want to work a bit more on graphics. I'll be coming back to the fruit trees later in the week, but recently I've been looking ahead to the release a bit, and I've been thinking more about the marketing side of things, setting up the Steam page, getting a logo, cover art, a website, and I'm actually going to be talking to a designer later this week about the cover art. But that made me realise that I need to finalise the look of some of the things in the game first, like the house model for example, because the house is going to be on the cover art, obviously with the game being called HomeGrown, so I really need to finalise the house model before I talk to the designer later this week, so I'm going to work on that this morning. I've been working quite a bit with ChatGPT recently to help me with the art style in the game, which is something I've always struggled with. And I found it really useful to give ChatGPT images of the game and then ask it to tweak things like change the colors, change the models. It really helps me to visualize how the game could look if I changed bits of it. And sometimes it comes up with nonsense, but sometimes it comes up with some really good ideas. Like these two images here, I think the colors in these are really nice. I definitely want to aim for more of this color balance in the game. And then the style of the buildings is also really cute. So I've just been in Blender this morning trying to make use of some of that inspiration and create my own cute looking house model. And this is where I've got to so far, but I have to stop now. I need to go into town for a dentist appointment, so I'll be back working on this afternoon. So I've spent most of the afternoon on this new model, but I'm pretty much done now, and I'm pretty happy with the results. I've put it next to the old house so you can see and compare them. Obviously the new one's pretty heavily inspired by this ChatGPT image. I took the colours pretty much straight from that image, but I think the colours are nice. I think they're a lot cozier and warmer than the old ones, and they just work better together. I changed the roof quite a bit. I made it a lot thicker and rounder. I thought the old one was quite thin and tall and spiky. And just in general in this old model there are lots of kind of hard straight edges, and it all looks a bit too precise. So I've got a few more kind of natural shapes in the new model, and I think that works a bit better, especially like these rocks down the bottom. I think that looks a lot nicer than this old plain bottom part. So really happy with how it's turned out, and I'm going to try putting it into the game now and see how that looks. So I've just tried putting the house into the game to see how it looks, and I don't think it looks very good. Here it is. I think firstly the camera angle's not doing it any favors, because you see a lot of roof, and the roof's not the most exciting part of the house. I think I'll have to have another go at trying to make the roof like this. I did try this earlier with the tiles, but when I did it, it just looked awful. I don't know why it looks so good here, but I might have to have another go at that. And then secondly, the colours are obviously just really blown out by the lighting in the game, which is very different from the lighting here in Blender. So I think tomorrow I'm going to have to get into the lighting calculations and play around with them and see if I can get some warmer, cozier colours into the game like this. I really like the colours here, so tomorrow I'm going to tweak the colours a bit and see if I can get them more in this direction. Just came out to do a bit of watering on the balcony, and I thought I should show you it because I don't think I've shown you the balcony at all this year, and I've already got quite a lot of stuff growing here. So I've got some lettuces, spring onions, tomatoes and mint, and then in this pot here I've got some pea plants just starting to appear. Then in the kitchen I've got a few other things that are growing, and they're eventually going to go out into these pots here. And the lettuce is actually already to harvest, so I'm going to harvest some now to have with my dinner. It is 7:30, just taking Rufus for his morning walk, and today I'm going to be working on colours and lighting, which to be honest stresses me out a bit because it's a real weakness of mine. I've always struggled with colours. I don't really understand how artists do it, how they know which colours to choose and how they choose colours that fit nicely together. So I'm going to try and learn more about it today and then try and apply it to the new house model. I've spent the whole morning today setting up these sliders which are connected to all of the lighting variables in the shaders, so now while the game's running I can try out different lighting settings, which is going to make this whole thing a lot easier. Also, I've set up a kind of test area where I'm just rendering the house and grass, and I'm gonna try and get the lighting and the colours right for that, and then I'll build up from there. So I've spent the whole afternoon today trying to learn about lighting and colours and shaders. I've been looking loads of stuff up, trying out lots of stuff, asking ChatGPT to help me as well. And I feel like I'm making some progress, mostly in Blender. I decided it was easiest to play around with colours and lighting in Blender, because here I can tweak both the colours of the model and the lighting. But I've removed all of the fancy lighting features from Blender, so this is really basic lighting that I should be able to very easily replicate in my engine once I've come up with a look that I like. And I feel like I'm getting close. I feel like I'm getting quite close to the colours in my reference image here. So going in the right direction, but I'll continue on with this tomorrow. It's the end of the day now. And this evening, if I have time, I'm going to plant the flowers on the balcony. So, getting back to the colours today, I feel like I'm going a little bit colour crazy. I was dreaming about colours and lighting last night, and I did do a bit more yesterday evening. I was learning about tone mapping, because I've never really used that before. I was learning how to implement that into the shaders. So I feel like I'm starting to understand some things about colours and lighting a bit better, but still got a little way to go. So this morning I'm just going to be working on it some more. So I'm still just playing around with lighting settings. I've added a few more sliders here, so I've got 3 different types of tone mapping that I can try. I also added some sliders for brightness, contrast and saturation, which I just implemented support for in my engine. I still haven't really come up with anything that I'm particularly happy with though, so I'll have to keep working on that. I was just wondering, and maybe an artist can tell me what they think. I was wondering if I need to do more work on the base colours of the models themselves, or if it's mostly lighting and post-processing effects that are lacking to take it from this to this. Because I feel like the base colours look okay, but let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if you think I need to change these base colours, or if I should just keep focusing on lighting and post-processing to get it to look more like this. Anyway, we're going to visit some friends this afternoon, so I'll be back to work after that. It's 9:15 now. I don't usually work this late, but I really want to bring this little graphical detour to a close today, because I've actually got to get back to making some progress on the game at some point. I haven't completely sorted out the lighting yet. I'll definitely need to do more work on that, but I'm kind of happy with how it looks here, so I'm going to keep that for now, and I'm not going to do any more work on the models or the colours until I've heard your feedback. So if you do have any ideas how I could improve the colours in the game, then please do let me know. Anyway, if you remember, the whole reason I started this graphical update was just to get a better house model that I could give to the designer, which I have now done. So she's now going to start making the cover art for the game. So in that sense, mission accomplished. So I'm back working on the fruit trees this morning, and I've started off by making some proper models for the apple tree, and you can see them in the game here. I'll just plant a few around so we can see them grow. Also, I don't think I told you, but yesterday I made some new models for the grass and the flowers. I thought I'd try and make them look a little bit cuter. So yeah, here are the fully grown apple trees, and next today I'm going to work on some particle effects for when you're pruning the trees. So to make the particle effects, I made this quick stick mesh. I then did all of the settings for the particle effects. I spent quite a while tweaking them, and now in the game it looks like this, which I think works quite well. Pretty satisfying. Just been making a couple of icons next today. I made the icon for the apple, which, oh, little text issue there. I make the vegetable icons by making a 3D model of them, and then I've got a program that converts it into a nice looking icon. And then I also made the icon for the apple medal, which you can win at the town vegetable competition. And this one I do actually have to make manually, at least the apple part I draw, and then I put that on top of the medal icon that I use for all the medals. So I'm going to stop and go for a run now. I'm doing a lot of running recently because I'm training for the half marathon next month. I've done one before, but it was a couple of years ago, so I need to get fit again. It is coming up to 6 o'clock on Friday evening. I ran quite a long way earlier. I did 15 kilometers, so I was a bit exhausted after that, and I decided not to do any more programming today. So instead I did a bit of video editing, because that's a bit more chilled, don't have to think so much. I wasn't editing this video, I was doing a short video for Instagram about the auto harvesters, which I haven't quite finished, but I'll finish it tomorrow because I'm done for today. It is Saturday morning. So far today I've just been finishing up that little video that I was making for my Instagram, and in a minute I'm going to get started editing this video, and I'll be doing that for the rest of the day. So I think I'm going to end this video here. The fruit trees are almost finished. There's a bit more I need to do, I'll do that next week. And then the colours and the lighting, that's obviously going to be a bit more of an ongoing process. Although I am hoping to finalise it soon, because I need to start going through all of the other models in the game and updating their colours if necessary, although I think it's probably going to be necessary. So if you have any tips relating to colour, then I would love to hear them. Before I finish, I want to say a massive thank you to the top Patreon supporters from last month, who were Maximilian H, Marcus Rechel, Viechchu, Daryl Zuniga, Kevin Schau, Peter Westhazen, Ingo Moore, Henning KO, Helson Taberas, Andrew Romans, Marais, Shadeless Fox, Kimo Tamio, Coda the Tyler, Ross from 2 Minute Tabletop, Nikat Asgazada, Zanil Ambakar, Atomic Code, Walden Yan, Chris Naismith, Alan Lance, Wonuff, Dieter Reinert, Harry Chung, Christopher Poe, Matthias Barder, Hagen Vingard, Matthew Connaughton, Miggy Doze, Marek Mikulajczyk, Sean McCrory, Timothy Gibbons, and Neil Blakey Milner. So a massive thank you to you guys, and of course to everyone else supporting me over on Patreon for making this whole project possible. So that's it for this video, hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next one.